Good day, good people. I'm here with the self-proclaimed hip-hop congressman of NY16, Jamaal Bowman. Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Jamaal Bowman has been a representative since January 2021. He has a PhD in education, but he's far from a hater. Since his days in education, Representative Bowman has made space for hip-hop in his curriculum, and he's bringing that same energy to Congress, having launched the Hip Hop Task Force this past February. He's been a champion for the underdog, and that has made him public enemy #1, but that's not slowing him down. Let's get into this conversation and talk politics and how it connects to hip hop.
Hip hop has always been political, and it's always been about building political power.
You said you learned so much from it and you wouldn't have become congressman if it wasn't for this art form. You say that it was important for you to bring hip hop into the classroom. What exactly did that look like, and how did the students benefit from that?
I grew up, I guess, during what many call the golden age of hip hop. So a lot of it was rooted in like knowledge of self and a certain social and political consciousness, and Black consciousness specifically. And so, you know, to be raised on KRS-One, Rakim, Public Enemy, Chuck D, you know, it just made sense to pass on that knowledge to the students through hip hop in terms of just the written word and poetry and oratory skills and overall communication skills. But yeah, it's just, you know, hip hop has the power to do all of those things at the same time.
And so how did a song like Nas's I Know I Can, how did that translate to a classroom?
I mean, the timeline of hip hop, especially conscious hip hop, is all about knowledge of self. And so when you're teaching Black and brown kids, you know, rooting your education in knowledge of self builds self-esteem, builds self-worth, and builds self-determination, and leads to self-actualization. And so that's the mission. Like, that to me is a major component of decolonization, and a major component of reclaiming our spirit as Black people and people of conscience on the world stage.
Speaking of the world stage, we are 5 decades deep into hip hop, and we've seen it grow from the Bronx all the way going international. And in a way, at this stage, it's like it's become like an institution of its own. But sometimes when things go that mainstream, something can get lost by the wayside. The same could be said for politicians when they enter the game. In what ways can we keep, as hip hop progresses, how can we keep it to its roots? And how do you, as a politician, try and stay to your roots?
Yeah, well, thank God for Kendrick Lamar, you know what I'm saying? I think he's an example of that. In the recent conflict with Drake, I think first and foremost, his mission was to ensure that hip hop remained deeply rooted in where it came from. And so, you know, God willing, there will always be artists like him to do that. So hopefully that will continue, and I think it will. In terms of me as a congressman, I mean, that's I'm gonna be myself no matter what. I feel I have a responsibility in Congress to make sure I give voice to the voiceless and speak up for those who, you know, haven't been a part of the political system, and make sure that I'm governing from their perspective and with them, because if I don't do it, you know, it's not gonna get done. And so, yeah, I don't plan to, you know, ever switch up or change up while I'm there. If I'm there to have an impact, a particular impact on a particular group of people, and so if I'm not doing that, then I'll go do something else. I don't need to be there. Yeah.
We are in the South Bronx. This is the birthplace of hip hop. I am the hip hop congressman. So we gonna roll up our sleeves, and we gonna let the guns out, and we gonna let them know how strong and powerful and mighty we are.
Hop Task Force, is that like a conduit for you to bring those considerations into the policymaking world?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, it's good to have a song about, you know, how inhumane our criminal justice system is, or a song about how inhumane our foreign policy is. And the song may, you know, get 1 billion streams, right?
Mm-hmm.
But 1 billion streams doesn't change policy. We need to leverage those 1 billion streams, the artist's platform, the fans involved towards policy change. And hopefully the Hip Hop Task Force creates the space for us to begin to do that.
Mm-hmm. But you know, there are a lot of figures who are trying to bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Some with a lot of critiques. Most recently, Jay-Z is partnering with an initiative in Philadelphia to have vouchers for low-income children to go to private schools. A lot of people are saying that while it sounds good, it's actually taking money away from the public school system. Is this the kind of thing you're trying to avoid by bringing, or what is your perspective on that?
From what I've heard about this particular case, like it's not just providing vouchers for low-income kids to go to private schools. It's taking $300 million that's supposed to be from public schools and turning that into vouchers for private schools. Mm. And for Jay-Z and Roc Nation to co-sign that, put their name behind that, Jay-Z is wilding for that.
What should celebrities and rappers, what should they look out for in terms of which projects they want to put their name on?
Yeah, so bare minimum, let's help people to meet their basic needs. And then beyond that, let's help people to self-actualize. So whatever that looks like. And so, you know, it's up to each individual artist to do what it is they're going to do. But at the end of the day, you know, we live in a world right now where we have a mental health crisis among our kids, as per the Surgeon General. We have guns as the #1 killer of kids in our country. Mm-hmm. We have a maternal mortality crisis where black women are like 10 times more likely to die of childbirth than anybody else. We still have police brutality and people in jail for shit they should be home for. And we have many, many other injustices, right? And so there's a lot of injustice to work on. Taking $300 million from public schools to give to private schools through vouchers is not the move.
Not it.
It's not it. It's not it at all.
Republicans are seeming to catch on and trying to tap hip-hop influence as well. At Trump's rally, he had 2 rappers who are facing felony charges on his campaigning for him, and we have the Trump sneaker. Is this appeal working, or is this just superficial?
I mean, I don't know. It's not working. But
do you have a pair of Trump sneakers?
No, I do not.
Do you want a pair?
I do not. I mean, listen, hip-hop has grown a lot over 50 years, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just KRS-One, right? It was PM Dawn at one point. I don't know who the PM Dawn version of PM Dawn is today, but the point is, you know, you talk about losing the culture, right? You asked a question about that earlier. Mm-hmm. When your only objective is to you know, get money and be lit, or popular, whatever it is, and there's no and there's like fast track. You can fast track your, you know, to getting stuff out there through social media now versus like going through a process, stand or whatever. There's gonna be aspects of it that are vulnerable to, you know, being bamboozled and caricaturism.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I don't know these artists. I don't know what their story is, but there's definitely an aspect of hip hop. Well, you know, Trump is, and the thing about Trump, you know, he's anti-establishment. Mm-hmm. You know, he's getting money. You know, so some people could think like, yo, I want to ride with Trump. You know what I'm saying? So I you know, But that's not hip hop. No matter what in my opinion, that's not hip hop. That's not it.
What's your counter argument
To who?
to people who might be swayed by Trump sneakers?
I ain't got no counter argument for them. Y'all go ahead, do that. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do this over here. Like, it's no. If you sway by Trump sneakers, like, to me, you gone. Yeah.